Hello, poopsies, and thank you for joining me today on this ASMR video. It's me, Tony Bomboni, and I have the door open, so you probably hear some of the pool sounds. I thought that would sound nice. And Rose is covered over there, her little chirps. Shouldn't be too bothersome. This is a thick blanket, so it kind of covers, muffles the sound more, and plus she knows, like, when she's covered to kind of keep it down. So, but I filmed here because I wanted to show you our beautiful Vanda plant. It is an orchid, as you can see, dangling right there. Yeah, you get a better view like that. So, yeah, I'm gonna read you some planting instructions and care instructions. We went to the Ace store the other day and they had this pamphlet there about care. So I thought this was such a relaxing subject because I know a popular subject on YouTube nowadays is about plants and caring for them. And I'm going to read about the Vanda orchid. That's how it looks, the Vanda orchid. And this was from the orchid event that we went to as well. So we went to Venice and Fort Myers this weekend, which I did not expect. It was super spontaneous. We went to this air plant emporium in Fort Myers and this art fest in Fort Myers, which was really nice. I was so happy to go. I needed the break, like, after the move. I didn't realize how burnt out I was. I'm able to hide it very easily, even though sometimes people around me can tell if I am, even before I can tell myself, because, you know, burnout kind of creeps up on you. You can't really tell until it's too late, then it hits you hard. So I was like, why am I feeling so lazy? Why am I feeling so, like, docile and lethargic, and I don't feel like doing anything? And that's usually the first sign you're burned out, right? And so kind of just, you know, moving around, getting out of the house, you know, that's, you know, good for you, but also it's like, it kind of creates a different environment for you when, you know, because for someone like me who works home all the time, especially on busy days, it's so hard to just leave the house, right? Especially if you live further from a lot of stuff. So, you know, sometimes I find myself falling back into old patterns. So it was nice to, you know, explore this weekend and go around, even though people were acting weird. Oh my gosh, people, yeah, within the last few years are acting very weird. But needless to say, you know, as long as you don't let that distract you, you focus on why you're there, you're good. So yeah, just thought I'd share and talk a little bit about my weekend. And, yes, gong a little bit of the rainbow before I begin. So I'm going to start first talking about the Vanda, then I'm going to start talking about plant care. Okay, because it's a relaxing subject to me too, obviously, to take care of plants, water them. I was just watering my pansies, I think they're called. I have a couple right now, like pink and yellow ones. They're doing okay, but they're still a little shocked from that deep freeze we had. This big bush I have behind, I don't know if you can see, should I spin the camera? Yeah, I guess I cleaned up most of the kitchen, so now I can safely, whoosh, I'll spin you really quick. Spin the camera over. Let's see if I can zoom in there. Yeah, you see that right there? That little brown patch over there? In that privacy bush, and then we have some browning over there as well. Right there. So just in the tops, you know. So I'm gonna spin you around real quick. Are you ready? Bam. Ooh, not an appealing look this up close. Okay. But, yeah. So Anyway, I'm gonna continue. Hopefully you don't hear that T-R-U-C-K, because I'm not gonna say it because my DOG is right there. And if he hears it, he's gonna start barking and freaking out, although I think he already hears it. But I'm gonna keep talking and rustling this paper so he hears more of that. Then here's the T-R-U-C-K going by because it's Monday morning. That's when they do the G-A-R-B-A-G-E pickup. He knows words, I think he can sense it. Chihuahuas are so smart, so I'm just gonna keep rustling this paper a little bit louder so that you don't have to hear that. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so moving on, the consequence of opening the door on a Monday morning. God forbid I do. Okay, so the Vanda Alliance is made up mostly of warm and full sun-growing orchids with colorful flowers. Yeah, this one came at the festival fair. It was like all indoor, but it was like big, It came in this color. It came in one which I really like. I love the peach colored ones. Those are my favorite type of orchids. And I think it also came in white, if I'm not mistaken. But he liked this the most. I said he should get it. It's gorgeous. It looked gorgeous hanging out on our lanai, but it's not supposed to get direct sun. Okay? So we had to keep it here for now until we figure out a location to place it. All right. So we've been doing a lot this weekend. I've been still working away at tackling away this project. I have to do my pool lights all around. You'll see. Okay, it's almost done. I had to go drive half an hour out just to get more of those lights. You'll see. I've been working on stuff. Originating in tropical Asia, they are easily grown in warm climates where plants are cultivated outside in light shade, such as in a lath house. Can you tell me what a lath house is? It's like bath, but with an L. L-A-T-H, house. 2 words. Lath house. What on earth is that? See. I don't know if you can see. Lath house. Excuse me. What on earth is a lath house? In climates where winters are cold, they're often summered outside and grown inside during the winter in a sunny window or year-round in a greenhouse. That makes sense. Smaller growing asacendas, whatever, are best outside tropical conditions. I guess this is the Latin name, asacenda, because this is pronounced Vanda, but it doesn't say the Latin name for asacenda. I guess it's asacenda. I don't know. All right. This is info by the American Orchid Society, AOS.org, at Fairchild Tropical Botanic Garden in Coral Gables, Florida. Okay. So, I guess it says drawing Marion Sheehan, inking Stig Dahlstrom. I guess these are the authors of this. So it was very interesting to me. Light is a crucial factor, it says, in blooming most vandaceous plants. So that's why it's called Vanda, vandaceous, like short for vandaceous. So more light than sun, This definitely gets a lot of light. I just close these off because, when I film it, if it's too bright back there, it's too bright for you. There are 3 types of Vanda: strap-leaved, semi-terete, and terete. Doubt I'm saying that correctly. The first type has broader, flat leaves, while terete types have round, pencil-sharp leaves. These are kind of broad. I think flat. I don't think these are the pencil sharp ones, if I'm not mistaken. But the roots amaze me because they're like twice the length. I mean, like half the length of the plant, pretty much. The semi-teretes are hybrids between the two with an intermediate leaf shape. Terete types need full sun and are best grown in high light climates. In a greenhouse, give the plants about 25 to 35% shade. That's very specific. Less in winter if overcast. No wonder they're hard to manage and grow. Leaves should be a medium green, not dark green. In warm, bright climates, you can grow any type of Vanda. Outside, if warm, with partial shade. for strap leaf types and cemeteries, especially in midday in summer, or inside when cold in a bright south window. That's very specific. It's kind of hard to remember. In climates where winters are overcast, try Asacendas. Grow them outside in summer and in full sun inside during the winter. Be careful to acclimatize plants to avoid burn. Yeah, so sometimes they get freaked out. I've noticed, like, certain plants here definitely, like, they're not meant to be in deep cold. They brown really quickly and they just don't come back from that shock. You know, I see so many people here in Florida plant these. They're kind of like all privacy bush, like palm trees. And they're so thin-leaved. The leaves are so thin. They just brown instantly. As soon as it's like 30 degrees outside, even just for a little bit, they just immediately brown. And it's so sad because people spend thousands on these palms and they just get wrecked during this cold. And it looks horrible, you know. Temperatures for most Vandas should be warm. A minimum winter night temperature of 55 degrees Fahrenheit is recommended. Colder spells can be tolerated for a short time if it is not windy. Oh, wow. They're very sensitive. Optimum temperatures are 60 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit at night. Yeah, so definitely not the winter. And a maximum of 95 during the day. That would be very hard in Florida. Yeah, because, you know, in the summer, it definitely can get more. I've never seen it really, like, the base temperature go above 96 in Florida in the 10 years I've lived here. But the feels like temperature easily climbs to 108 to 113 in the summer. Fahrenheit, which is brutal. That's like, oh my gosh, I think it was like 42 or 45 Celsius, something like that. So, I'm pretty sure they mean base temp, but the nights here sometimes mostly get between 60 and 70 degrees. So in the summer, it's more like 70 to 80 degree nights. So you might have to bring them inside for the heat. We're definitely going to have a very warm summer. Even next year is going to be record-breaking heat. So definitely make sure you bring your plants inside for that period. Water should be applied copiously when the plants are growing, but the roots must dry quickly. Yeah, that's with a lot of orchids. Like, I learned last night that the orchids, if they dry out too quickly, like, you gotta soak the root overnight. But with these, you gotta let them dry quick, so it's a little different. And don't put the ice. You know, people mistakenly put the ice. That shocks the root. You know, that's too much on the root. I tried that. I tried growing a peach orchid. I bought it from IKEA. Actually, it was doing pretty well. And then I mistakenly, my dumb ex, I listened to him, but, you know, he had told me years ago that you put ice to make. No. Okay. No, you don't put ice. Because of this and their I should have known he didn't know better. Because of this and their extensive root system, they are mostly grown in slatted wood baskets or in pots with a coarse potting medium. So the potting is very interesting too. They need kind of like a bark one. It's like a mix of bark and moss. Maybe she wants me to whisper, tone it down. She's like, I'm trying to sleep here. So that the soil is aerated, you know, so they ventilates and it doesn't, because the ice like traps it, it congests it, it can't breathe, you know. That's why you can't just put orchids in regular soil. It doesn't work like that. If their situation is warm and sunny, they may need daily watering, but sparingly, right? It says water sparingly in the winter or during cloudy weather. Yeah, don't soak the root, okay? Don't overwater. You could just a light little drizzle. That's it, okay? They don't need too much. These I'm wondering how to water. I think you might have to spray them. Well, some people, they just put it here, I think, and then it like falls down. She's very loud, I'm sorry. She's very, very loud. I might have to lower the volume. There we go. Humidity of 80% is ideal. In tropical climates, this may be easy to obtain. Yeah, definitely. But not inside. In a greenhouse, this is easier to provide by using an evaporative cooler. In the home, place the plants on trays of gravel partially filled with water. Air movement must be strong. That's interesting. So it says for fertilization, fertilize with a balance such as 20-20-20 fertilizer. Apply full strength once a week during warm weather or use a 1/4 strength solution at every watering. Okay, cool. During cool or cloudy weather, apply fertilizer once every 2 to 4 weeks. Use high phosphorus fertilizer such as 10-30-20 every third application to promote flowering. Okay, so I don't know too much about this. Like I said, these usually I find these like in museums, you know. So like, I don't know. I feel like they just kind of leave them there. They just kind of do well being left the hell alone. I've come to find plants, you gotta leave them alone. You gotta stop touching them. You know, they don't like being messed around with or played around with too much. You know, even when you touch them, it's like your oils in your hands cause them to deteriorate. Okay. So especially if you buy things like string of pearls, you know, just leave them alone. They do very good if you just leave them the hell alone. Don't touch them too much at all. Actually, just leave them be. Okay. You know, air plants, I would say, definitely need like a greenhouse effect. And we just learned, like, if you put plants with other plants close together, they're gonna thrive more. You know, they're gonna create that like convection, like that greenhouse effect. So, with certain plants, obviously, potting should be done in the spring. Plants in baskets do not need to be repotted often. Leave them unless the potting medium breaks down. Set the plant with the old basket intact into a container of water to make the aerial roots more pliable, and then set plant and basket into a larger basket, it says. For plants and pots, repot in a slightly larger pot, positioning the plant in the center. Use a coarse medium, whether fir bar, tree fern, or charcoal, and work it around the roots. It says to keep it shaded, humid, but drier at the roots until the new root tips grow, and not to overpot. Do not overpot, it says. So that's very specific. I'm sure you can transfer these in like a different type of pots, but you know, you gotta be gentle with the roots, you know, not to break them. Yeah, charcoal is something I didn't know either you could use, but I guess it makes sense. It's natural from the earth, right? They're just such pretty plants, you know. Since the American Orchid Society is the world's leading provider of information about related to orchids, we invite you to join us to learn about the world's fascinating flowering plants. So they're asking about membership and stuff like that if you want to join them. So yeah, so let's get to the exciting part about planting and care instructions. This is by MRT Lawn and Garden Center. So I'll read this first. Step 1, planting instructions. If you need online help, it says ifas.ufl.edu, Department of Ag, University of Florida, or mrtlawnandgarden.com. You can email info@mrtcompanies.com if you need help with your planting stuff. So, location, right? Location selection. Location can be a big part of determining the success of your plantings. Make sure you put the right plant in the right place. So I actually learned a lot from this and why I have been messing up my planting process this whole entire time. Had I just simply picked up a pamphlet, I would have known better. Laziness. Make sure you put the right plant in the right place. Shade-loving plants will not survive in direct sun, of course. Most flowering plants will not survive in the shade, of course. Ask your professional MRT sales associate for help making the right decision. Okay, so step 2, prepare a planting. Dig the hole. You dig the hole twice as wide and the same depth of the container that the plants come in. Okay. It says to place the plant in the hole and be sure that the top of the root ball is level or slightly above the surrounding ground. This is where I've messed up. I've always put it below thinking, oh, it needs soil, it needs to really like connect with the earth. No. Or I'd worried like the root ball would be dried up too quickly if it was above ground, you know. And it looks kind of funny too, you know, when you don't have enough topsoil thrown over the root. It just looks kind of off, at least to me. Step 3, remove the container. Okay, so this part's interesting. Carefully remove the container by holding the top of the root ball and gently slide the plant out. Okay, that's easy. If the roots have circled the plant or the root ball is solid, roots gently squeeze the root ball prior to the planting. Be careful not to disturb the roots too much or the plant will go into shock. I've learned this recently. Plants do go into shock, okay? Especially if they're jagged around, moving around in your car too much. You know, that's why when you bring them home, you need to give them some time to settle and rest, because they don't know where they are, what they're doing. Just leave them be, okay? Don't mess with them too much. Definitely don't drop them. Roots that have circled more than one time will need to be cut. Note, the bougainvilleas should be planted in the container that they come in. This is where I messed up. I spent so much money on plants like bougainvilleas and killed them all, not knowing how to correctly plant them. You have to plant them in the container that they are in. Okay? And it's just easier that way. Simply cut some holes on the sides about the size of a baseball and cut the lip off of the top. Again, who knew? Some citrus trees will have a fine mesh of very small roots surrounding the root ball. The mesh needs to be cut from top to bottom on 4 sides. Who knew? Step 4, fill the hole. Fill the hole with the planting mix from step 2. Pack in the soil lightly to remove any air pockets. Soak the soil thoroughly. It is a good idea to put some Milorganite, Fertrel, or any other organic fertilizer of your choice in the mix as you fill the sides. Do not put chemical fertilizer in the hole. This will kill the plant. Wait 6 weeks. Okay? So people want to be like doing the fertilizer right away. Don't be doing that. Okay? So step number 5, mulching. Be careful not to put mulch, stone, or anything else within 6 inches of the trunk. Each plant has small air roots that need to breathe. Covering them can cause fungus problems and death of the plants. That's very interesting. 6 inches. That's half a Subway sandwich. Okay? Who knew? Who knew? Right? Step 6, fertilizer and feeding. We recommend to use Milorganite, Fertrel, or any other organic fertilizer of your choice while the plant is being planted. It says to use Milorganite. It's a non-burning form of nitrogen. Nitrogen is good for the soil, right? However, it is not strong enough for periodic use and it lacks the minor elements all the plants require. All plants, okay? All plants. Florida soils are very sandy and have little to no nutrients. Sorry guys, I didn't realize she'd be this chatty. I'm not filming next to her again. I thought she'd handle this better. She likes more when I'm further. To be successful, you must fertilize your new plants starting 6 weeks after installation and a minimum of 4 times per year. The general rule of thumb is half a pound per trunk diameter, inch measured from about 3 inches above the ground. You have to scatter the fertilizer around the plant like salting a steak. My neighbors are making all sorts of sounds right now. Do not pour it in the crown of the plant or mount it around the trunk. Use fertilizers for specific plants. An example, if you use palm fertilizer for palms, citrus fertilizer for citrus, etc. Obviously, these have the micronutrients that are lacking in our soils and are needed to keep each type of plant healthy. So I might consider that because I just bought a palm as well. Oh my god, we bought so much plants this weekend. My partner, he is obsessed with plants. He's like, I want to cover the whole house with plants. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's going to make it so much harder to move one day. He is a plant person, like literally, hands down. Yeah, I seem to attract the planty types. Everyone I ever knew or dated like loves plants. Oh my gosh, it's hilarious. I'm growing to love it with time. You know, I never really was into it like that. I honestly found it at first a bit odd. I was a little judgy at first. I was like I never understood those people who have like 100,000 freaking plants in their backyard. It never made sense to me. But anyway. Okay, so it says watering. So this is the watering process, okay? Alright, we're finishing up here. We're wrapping up here. New plants need plenty of water. They get watered every day at our nursery. Follow the schedule to help develop a strong root system. Water daily for the first week. Water every other day the second week. This is something I've always known, but still nice to remind yourself. Water twice a week the third week. This is an approximate watering schedule. Please check with your MRT sales associate for further information about watering. Water less if it rains, obviously, and less during the winter. Makes sense? Because if you water, like one mistake people make is they water the plants before a deep freeze. Big no-no, you're going to kill the plant, okay? And never water in the middle of the day, especially if you have to, like, make sure you're watering at the soil level, at the root. Don't pour the water over the plant unless it's like sunset, okay? Sometimes sunrise if the sun is not too strong during the day or in the morning, okay? And make sure you know, like, where the sun rises, where it sets. That's going to be ideal, crucial, in fact, for where you position your plants. I know the seasons make it different. In Florida, it's almost directly overhead because we're closer to the equator. In the winter right now, it's more obviously south facing, right? More like southeast, southwest facing. So, that will help you. Moisture meters are available for purchase MRT. Okay, so after the third week, water weekly unless we are in a very dry and hot month. Usually May, June, and September. That makes sense. Always water in the morning. Plants only need water when the sun is up. I need to sit with that because that makes a lot of sense now. Because people I've noticed who water their plants in the morning, definitely their plants have done better. If you wait until the plants are wilting, they won't grow as well. Shaded plants will not need to be watered as much as plants that are in full sun. It is best to water plants with a hose because they need a nice deep soaking. It is best to take the squirter off of the hose. Hanging baskets and container gardens need to be checked daily. That definitely, because they're very sensitive. Yeah, my pansies are the hanging basket. They're like needing to be babied right now. Only water when soil is on the dry side. Yeah, they will require more water than a plant in the ground. Oh yes, I have come to find that. Oh yes, they are soaking up water pretty good. I don't know what they're doing. Sounds like they're washing something. The three big no-nos. Stop, okay? Stop. Over the years, we have narrowed the list down to the 3 major mistakes people make. I'm definitely going to have to study this pamphlet like I'm taking a driver's exam or something, because I really do want to improve my skills of planting, because every time I try to grow something, it dies, and it's so frustrating to me. The only thing I'm successfully growing is marigolds, but that's because they're so easy and they're so durable. So, like, I haven't really been able to keep much of anything, to be honest. So, number 1, plants are planted too deep. Yeah, all plants and trees need to be planted equal to or a little above the surrounding ground. Planting too deep causes the plants to suffocate. Number 2, it says, putting a chemical fertilizer in the hole. If you have ever put your hand in a bag of fertilizer and it caused a burning sensation, that is from the chemicals in the mix. When plants are planted, they put out new little feeder roots. If you put a straight fertilizer in the hole, it will burn the new roots and kill the plant. But what if you put a gay fertilizer? No, I'm just playing. Number 3, air pockets underground. New plants need to be thoroughly watered in to try and get all air pockets out of the hole. If you do not fill the area around the plant and saturate the soil to get the air pockets out, the plants will die. It is best to put a ring of dirt around the plant or tree and fill it with water. While full, gently shake the plant to get the air pockets out. It's good to know. I didn't know that, actually. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, usually when I water, I've always been told to water around too. Like, if it's a tree, like, don't just water right under the tree where the base of the trunk is. Water all around, because also the roots need to collect all that moisture as well. Yeah, it needs to be compact. That makes a lot of sense. And I can see why they suffocate if you plant it too deep then. Wow, you're learning a lot just by reading, right? Or listening. So I hope you learned something new. Maybe some people can give me some plant tips that I might not be aware of right now at this immediate moment. I thank you so much for watching and listening. I hope you've enjoyed and helped support and find my work to keep going to make daily content for you. Please check me out on TonyBomboni.com. I really would appreciate it so much. And you can call me. Yes, you can call me for your own personal reading already. I'm doing live phone call reading appointments now. Yes. I'm also doing still the filmed version like I've always been doing. I'm still going to keep doing that. Don't worry about it. But I haven't put the live phone call part on my website yet. I will shortly. I just have to have the time. But you can DM me on Instagram at ASMRER, or you can email me. Yes, you can email me at alienreikimaster@gmail.com. That's alienreikimaster@gmail.com. Okay? For your own live phone call readings, I'm taking calls already. I will shout out the phone number eventually, but I have it. I already have a business line now going. Yeah, so you just DM me on Insta or email me, and I will tell you the rates and times that we can book together and schedule together. Okay? Alright, poopsies. Thank you so much. So yeah, that's if you want your own personal tarot card reading. I'm doing live phone calls now, as well as the video sessions where, if people who prefer more anonymity, I'm still going to be able